Every voice is different. Every single voice that comes. And that's not just from a technical perspective, but also from a mindset, a self-belief, a cultural, where they've come from, a socioeconomic level, what education they've had. There's so many different reasons as to why voices come into the studio, and also the way that I work forward, the way that I start working with everyone. It's interesting doing this process. All the kids are saying, oh, well, I've never heard Lisa say that. And I turned to them and said, well, that's because I have to work with everyone individually, depending on how much energy you need, depending on what emotional state you're in, how old you are, have you gone through puberty, is your voice breaking, are you know, as a young girl, you're feeling insecure. You know, there's so many different things that I have to take into account, and I really do work intuitively to tap into that. And when I come into the room, I'm coming in to meet you at the space that you're at today, and that will change from week to week. Honestly, the most common problem that I find is mindset. Okay, is the voice is a funny thing. There's this unrealistic expectation that your voice should be just amazing. And honestly, there are some voices that are naturally very, very gifted, and musically they have really good intonation, really good rhythm. But generally, I have to work a lot on mindset, and we could open a can of worms and talk about why that is. But I think just generally today there's this again instant gratification that comes through in society that, well, I should just be able to open my mouth and within, you know, 3 or 4 sessions of singing that I should be another Mariah Carey. And it's really the challenge for me is to make them understand that this is a muscle and you need to work that muscle, you need to strengthen that muscle, and that takes time. You know, you don't go to the gym and want to lose 30 kilos and run a marathon and expect that that's going to happen next week. And so really turning that mindset around and making them focus in on what's important is the challenge for me. That's a huge question, and the easiest, quickest answer is to say that it started with little Lisa's dream. I came from a musical family. My grandfather was incredibly musical, and I started singing when I was 8. I got found by one of the school teachers and got the lead in the school musical. And I was and still am, an incredibly shy, introverted, empathic human being, and so I found it very, very difficult through my development to be able to be confident enough and put myself forward, all the things that you need to be a great performer. And through that journey, I went through a lot of mindset challenges, and so I deeply understand what it is to go through life and not be heard, not be understood. And then the second half to the answer to that question of how did performance studios come about was that I went through 2 bouts of cancer, and there was this intersection between the technical world of singing, but also what kept me alive was that internal voice and understanding that internal voice. And so when I came out of having those 2 cancers, I was 35, and I really felt like I had something to give back, and I intertwined those 2 worlds and started to teach on a completely different level. And a lot of that is intuitive, what I call intuitive teaching, but that's based on a lot of meditation, mindset, etc., etc. So when I turned 50, which was just last year, it was really game on. It was, you do this now, you leave a legacy, you leave an impact, and I just want to really touch as many lives and help as many lives as I possibly can. come from that, particularly that young individual. Why should people choose performance studios? Because we're kind. I won't allow egocentric behaviours. I won't allow bullying. That's just absolutely not going to happen. Everyone must support each other. I teach them how to see the best in the other person and how to encourage that person. It's safe. Everyone that's here that works with us are highly trained, but beyond that, we care. I've developed the culture that I wanted to create really, and that is one that is co-creating, and we're all having fun. All my team are performers at some level, and we're always bouncing off each other and being quirky and a little bit crazy sometimes. And so when you walk into the space, you pick up on that vibe, and you can't create a great vibe if it's not coming from the heart. To be really selfish, I would have to say that it's seeing them grow, seeing the transformation, that really feeds me and gives me energy. So watching the development is what makes me thrive. I've been able to achieve a lot. I think it's been an affirmation in that I have to trust my gut. Every decision that I make is based on my practice, and that is that I trust my intuition and I trust my gut on every decision. And thankfully, it has been a practice that is really serving me. And so that's it every day. I love that challenge of trusting, going with the flow, and perhaps sometimes going against what normal society says that you should do. I go a little bit the other way. You know, outside of performance studios, I've been teaching for 30 years, so there's been a lot of success over the time. I've seen students go through to the end of the competition on The Voice. I've seen a student represent Australia on Eurovision. There's been many national competition that we've won or come really highly placed. Many are Stedfords every year. We go in and do really well as musical theatre, getting major roles. But I think the greatest achievement is the transformation of seeing someone being really stuck in their head, not having a great mindset, and being super hypercritical of themselves, and then watching that transformation of them coming in the door confidently and being able to look you in the eye and give you a hug. I think those are the things where, you know, you're really making an impact on somebody's life. I think the people that, you know, that old saying, build it and they will come, certainly has been a major part of the development here, and some of the conversations, the opportunities, and being surrounded by really world-class musicians and coaches is something that, while I wanted to come in and co-create, I didn't anticipate that I would be like a kid in a candy store every day. It's just phenomenal experiences and relationships that we've been building. Absolutely, you've got to be ready. You've got to be ready to be challenged. You've got to be ready to meet your potential and want to excel. While I do think that I come to my lessons being kind and compassionate, I'm also very disciplined in that I want a result for you and I want you to be the best that you can be. And that means sometimes that you're not going to be comfortable. And I'm very okay with pushing you outside of your comfort zone. It's a very common thing here that there's a lot of tears, sometimes tanties, but it's all done and we wrap you up and we make sure that you walk out of here and you come back the next week a little bit stronger. One word. Well, apart from terrifying and brave and challenging, I think that the one word really would be joy. It really is at the end of term or the end of semester when we have those showcases, absolute pure joy and happiness. And honestly, living in 2023 after what we've just been through in this world, we need more joy. And so I am honestly one of the luckiest people to be living out my dream. You know, that's a really unfair question because of course I'm going to say 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, you know, I'm going to say to you, why don't you come and you come for a few lessons, come and experience it, and you tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 where you would put us. And I'm pretty confident it's going to be above a 5 at least. Is there anything else that I want to add? Look, I think, as I just mentioned before, the world is full of challenges, it's full of negativity, and having gone through the experiences that I've gone through in my lifetime, one thing that I'm really confident in saying is that your mindset and what you focus on and what you believe, no matter what experiences you're having, those experiences should never define who you are as a person. And if you're somebody that wants to live your best life and live your highest potential, but doesn't know how to and is scared and wants that support, then that's a conversation that I'd love to have with you. And I know that if you don't come back and you just want to come in and have a coffee and check us out, then that's okay too, because I know you're going to walk out of here and at least you're going to have a smile on your face. How can everyone find us at Performance Studios? Well, I'm not completely tech proficient, if that's a word. But I do know that we have a strong social media presence, so you can jump onto our Performance Studios Australia Instagram. You can jump onto Facebook. You can also go to performancestudios.com.au. You can give us a call, you can give us a text message, or best thing, just drop in. We're at 3994 Pacific Highway, Loganholme, just off the freeway, and we are more than willing to welcome you any day.